Alrighty, welcome back everybody. It's your main math man, Michelle, coming to you live from Summit at Castro. In this video, just doing a little Unit 3 review problem, and we're looking at trying to graph out this rational function. Again, I know this is a rational function because it has a fraction in it, but what I can do right away from it is trying to figure out some of these different parts for it. So, real simple, if I'm looking for the coordinate of the x-intercept, all I would do is set this equation equal to 0. So down here I can say, okay, instead of f of x, I now have 0. So I have 0 equals 3x over x squared minus 4. And what I can do is solve for x. So what I can do, I multiply both sides by x squared minus 4. Multiply by x squared minus 4. And then what happens, this still is 0, so I have 0 equals 3 times x, which then I can divide both sides by 3 and still get x equals 0. So what that tells me, since my coordinate, again, the key part for this is coordinate, that tells me I need an ordered pair. So I have parentheses 0, comma 0. If that's going to be my coordinate of my x-intercept, that's also going to be the coordinate of my y-intercept. So I can also just have 0, comma 0. Or if you wanted to, you could plug in 0 into x and see what you get, which it should just be 0. For my equation of my vertical asymptote, what I have to do is this. I have to say on the side here, I can split this into two sets of parentheses. So I take difference of squares. I have x squared minus 4 is the same as, let's say, x plus 2 times x minus 2. What that means for us now is, if I was trying to restrict the domain, I would say, well, we couldn't have -2 or +2 for our domain, but that's going to tell me my equations of the vertical asymptote. So I'm going to say x equals -2 and x equals +2. So that's going to be my equation of my vertical asymptote. It's going to be x equals -2 and x equals +2. Now this is where it gets tricky. For that horizontal asymptote, you have to go back to the notes and check those 3 cases. For this one specifically, I can look at the degree of the numerator compared to the degree of the denominator. So I can say the degree of, let's say, numerator is going to be less than the degree of denominator. Let's say, let me try that again. Let me say denominator. All right, so now that I have that, that tells me since my degree in the top is less than the degree of the bottom, I can say that my equation for the horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals 0. That's just your x-axis. So right away, what I can do now is I can kind of build in what that's going to be. So let's try to graph this equation now. So I'm going to graph this rational function. I'm going to say I go through 0, 0 is going to be my vertical, or sorry, it's going to be my x-intercept and my y-intercept for this one. So the origin is going to be both of those, but I can also put a line here. Let's say this 1, this 2. So I have -2, and I have, let's say, +2. So that's going to be my 2 vertical asymptotes. So I have a dashed line that goes through like that. Kind of poorly drawn, but that's okay. As long as you have a dashed line to show that's your vertical asymptote, which is a vertical line. For the horizontal asymptote, it's really hard to kind of draw that, but I can kind of dash it through that x-axis. Now let's sketch our curve. So we know we have to go through this point, but the key part for this is as follows. Let me triple check, make sure my looks good. Yeah. So I could say, all right, I have my far left curve that goes like that. Again, I'm not touching the x-axis on this part, and I have, because that's my horizontal asymptote, and I have to make sure I'm not touching at -2 because that's one of my vertical asymptotes. Same thing on the right side. I'm going to have now reflected, so it's just kind of like this. I'm going to have it go up and out. So that's gonna be my other part. But I said that I have to go through 0, 0 as an intercept. So what it looks like, it kind of looks like the cubic function, but I can kind of go down like this. And that makes sense too, because if you're thinking about those asymptotes, you're saying that, well, if it's going down as it approaches -2, then it has to come from the top part because it's, it's going in opposite directions. So as long as you're kind of filling in like that, you should have your graph. Make sure you can ask questions, and as always, super slam that subscribe button.